I see it. Lionel. Huh. That was close. Close doesn't count.
Welcome back to Retro Wednesday. The Tiberium Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the vintage LJN Thundercats Hovercat. This is a vehicle that is a bit rare. It's one that I didn't even know about till a short while ago. And I have to say that it is probably the coolest Thundercats vehicle ever made. It's simple, it's simplistic. I'm going to tell you kind of why I like it so much, but I do think it's kind of a very interesting one-man vehicle. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the limited appearance in the cartoon and the show, and of course the difference in how it compares to that, the features, action features, how it fits into a modern day collection, comparing it to other vehicles and size and scale and all that. How does it fit in your collection? We're going to talk about this thing coming up. So the first thing is that why do not many people know about this? Not a lot of people know that this thing even exists, mostly because of the fact that it wasn't in very many episodes. Actually, I think I found it in 2, and I got a little bit of footage from 2 episodes, but for the most part, it is a really cool vehicle, even though it's a bit rare, a little bit unknown. But let's get into looking at all of the features on this. First off, I want to point out that you can fit either size class of figure. You can put a vintage figure in there like you see with these other two, these two here, or you can put the Super 7 Ultimates in there. They fit just fine. In fact, the Ultimates fit a little bit better, mostly because they have the better articulation. So you can get them in there with a correct flight pose. You can bend the knees a little bit more. They look better. It actually is a better looking vehicle for the Ultimates figure. So I don't think that we really need Super 7 to remake these, since we already have them. The next thing I want to point out is that it looks a lot like a G.I. Joe Trouble Bubble. I mean, just looking at this, the Trouble Bubble is one of my favorites from the G.I. Joe line. And seeing it how it has the canopy and just kind of the one-man kind of feature, and it's got the engine on the back. It's different, but there are similarities, and it is kind of cool. I kind of think of a Trouble Bubble or a Flight Pod whenever I look at this. And this is the 3D printed G.I. Joe Classified one that I got from, I think it was Casual Collector. I did a review on it, but size-wise, it's just kind of like this makes a lot more sense and feels a lot more similar to the Trouble Bubble because of the size and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty kind of cool. Maybe one day Hasbro's going to make one of these, and maybe one day I can get a clear canopy. Okay, so there's not very many videos of this out there. There's a Third Earth Reviews, very informative, very quick video, but I'm going to be a little bit longer. I got to go through a few more of the problems and issues that you have with this and finding this, all that kind of stuff. But overall, I do have mostly original stickers for mine. There's somebody out there makes reproductions, and I think I might just upgrade some of my stickers on it. So you have stickers right here and here, and I think the one that has an upgrade has a console sticker inside there, so that's kind of cool. Now you can open up this canopy, and that's how you get the figure in and out. It clips in right here, and then you fold down and it clips in again up here. Now a very delicate weak point, but we'll talk more about that when we get into the damaging areas, the damaging sector. We do have this gun here that folds up or down, so you can aim it up or straight basically, or up, or any different angle that you'd like. That works. You do have a retractable landing gear that retracts like that. For the most part, I'm going to leave the landing gear down just so it stands okay on its own. You do have these two wings. They are not the same. There is a left and a right wing, and you can pose them however you want. Now, do not grab the wing and move them, and we'll get into that part in a bit, but you can have them go up or down or all that kind of stuff. So it sort of just holds in position the way it should. Some of these areas here might be loose and just flop down. I saw that in a couple of just display videos of people displaying their stuff, but for the most part, all of mine hold in together very well. Now we get into the biggest feature, which is this here. So as you pull this, you can feel I'm getting a little resistance there, but it spins this. Now I had them all working when taken apart, but as you can see, it has issues. Now I understand where the issues are. Basically, the gears wear. And although I did some stuff to kind of get the gears closer together, they're still too worn to actually do the job. So for the vast majority of these are not going to work properly. You're not going to be able to do this. So I understand why, and it just wears down after just a little bit of use. So very, very scary. If you get one that works, don't use it too much. Be very, very gentle, of course. Now, we also have from the back, there's, I guess that's supposed to be an engine, a stabilizer, some sort of a out thrust, and there is detail on the lever there, and there's all detail right down here on this, whatever this piece is called. It's just detail that's clipped in there. And so still pretty nice looking vehicle overall, really cool, sleek, and they put a lot into it. But I do want to say, comparing it to the animation, now, if you're going to compare this to the animation, it doesn't match the animation at all. As you can see, the lower turbine area should be about twice, if not 3 times the size to match the animation. So it's one of those things that has a bit of an animation error to it, but maybe the cost of making it that big, or it wouldn't fit in the package or the shipping, some aspect of it had to do with cost to not make it as big as the show, and why the show exaggerated it to make it maybe seem a little more realistic, because this fan is not going to turn enough to get the lift, that's for sure. So that rotor, that's just the way it is. So here is how it compares, size comparison to a Thunder tank, and to my surprise I repaired my treads on my Thunder tank, grabbed it for this comparison, and another part of the treads broken. Gosh, those treads suck on Thunder tanks. Anyway, that's how it scales. I mean, it's not much smaller. It's a bit smaller. I mean, it takes up quite a bit of space. It'd almost take up as much display real estate. Here's how it scales next to the, what is this? I think I forgot. Is that called the Thunderclaw? Something like that? And kind of shaky cam here. Next to the Mutant Nose Diver and this other one here. So still pretty cool. Around this size, this scale vehicle. I think these all scale about the same as like in the same class of vehicle, but pretty interesting, pretty fun. I just think this one is vastly superior to all of those other vehicles that are in the same scale. It wins. So now getting into some common breakage areas. Well, first of all, with the canopy, as you can see, it doesn't go down all the way with Lino in there. Now you could break a figure shoving them on there. I could see that. You can have a broken leg doing that. But you can also break the canopy trying to cram the canopy down with it over. If the figure's just a little too tall, doesn't fit in there just all that well, then maybe just leave the canopy up like this. That's just an option. Now, another thing is look, you get cracks on canopies, and it's just inevitable. Like a little crack right here, and I think I got another crack somewhere else. But it is kind of hard to get these parts, and if you do get them, there's a little imperfection. It's just not, to me, it's not the end of the world. Now, another problem that we have are these wings. As you see, one just fell off. You got to be delicate with them, and I'm going to try to zoom in on this, but they have another nub that's supposed to be on. I think every one of my wings has something broken on them, and that's just the way it is. We're just going to have to live with that. Now, they do slide into the slot. Now, the slot actually is reinforced, so the thicker part goes in there also. So you can hold it in there just fine. You could also do some of the other tricks, like put some polish on the inside of the slot and the insertion point and all that kind of stuff, and let them both dry, then insert it and have a tighter hold on it so it'll stick in there just a little bit better. Don't super glue them in. That would be a bad idea. So anyway, those are some of the common breakage points. Of course, we already talked about how this sometimes doesn't work. So we're going to get into talking about something else, as in restoration of this. So I got a few of these, and 2 of them I felt were very yellowed, and so the top left one was more yellowed, so I was more pleased with the end result on that one, like beginning and after, before and after picture. So as you can see, the top left and the top right is the before and after, then the lower left and the lower right was a different one as a before and after. And I think I might have had to do a couple of rounds of the 20 volume Salon hydroperoxide paste. It's a paste or a gel or whatever that is. And so then you wrap it in plastic and all that kind of stuff. So looking at the before and afters, the lower one at the end of the day looks better because it had less problems from the start, so it does look better. But before and after, it's a much bigger improvement on the top one. Just kind of want to show that. So how would this look in a Thundercats display? It's kind of freehanding it here because my shelves going up kind of high, but I think it looks pretty good. Like, you can do a lot of things with it. It fits pretty well. I really didn't have this set up to accommodate this, so I can move some wood stuff around so it can be flat on a flat surface. I could make that happen and pull it off. But I mean, just kind of thinking, it's small enough vehicle that it actually would fit relatively well on a decent sized shelf of a display. So this has been my look at the Thundercats Hovercat. Is it a good vehicle? It is for a small vehicle. It is kind of cool. It works. It looks pretty good. And it reminds me of a Trouble Bubble. But they're a little harder to get. I had to get mine all from out of the country, and then I was waiting for them to come in from different places, and I bought another one. So I really wasn't planning on getting 3, but I kind of like having them. And it's one of those things that if you order from another country, it's going to take you months and months and months to get it, and it's just the way it is. But I don't think this was, either it wasn't released in the US, or if it was very, very short period of time. I think in the UK and other places like that, France, you can get them a lot easier. So that's why my suggestion. If you want one of these, you're probably not going to find one in the US. But anyhow, let me know what you think about this vehicle. Is there another vehicle that's cool that maybe I don't know about of Thundercats? Because there's so much with Thundercats. It's a much bigger toy line than I ever thought it would be. But this Hovercat is really cool. Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Peter Hanger out.
Chitara. It grids out at Hook Mountain. Go for it, Chitara. Full throttle. Thunder!